living and working abroad. After the Advent budget, we go on location today for our thing. So hopefully it will work for you. You can see the stunning blue sky. We're not in a Mediterranean location. Just say bonjour from the island of Jersey, where it's a bleak midwinter afternoon. It looks very pretty, doesn't it? We're looking at the positive aspects of the UK budget, the Advent budget, the advent of change. And there was some change, some significant changes, and some of those specifically aimed negatively at expats. But still, expats can consider how the positives from the budget. And the positives from the Advent budget are the fact that some of the negatives haven't been extended. And so while property rental income and dividend income has been increased, so investment income, where something's been fixed in the UK has been increased, if it's not tied into the UK, the number of fixed incomes and assets hasn't been changed. So an expat can still move his income, move his dividends, move his private pension abroad, and pay tax at a different rate in a different country under a double taxation treaty. To find out more information about that, contact us at ProACTPartnership.com. I'm wearing headphones today because hopefully it's getting you some noise cancelling, so hopefully that's working for you, but also allowing you to get the sea views. You can't see me when it's like that, can you? So that's what I'm going to look at. So income on your property rental income has gone up. If you hold it as an individual, you still got capital gains tax, which hasn't gone up. It went up 80% in the Halloween budget of 24, not in the Advent budget of 25. But all the personal allowances are frozen, but they weren't extended. The fixed income, the fixed capital gains weren't extended. So let's have a look at some of the positives for expats, the things you can still do. Remember, you've got a government in the UK at the moment with a good majority that could stay there for 3 years, and they've got the right, if they can get it through their party, to increase tax, and clearly stated they're a tax and spending economy. It's not about incentivizing people to earn and make more money. It's about taxing what you earn and what you when you earn it, when you invest in it, and then when you die. So let's have a look at some of those. As we're saying, the personal income tax rate allowances haven't changed. If you've got income in the UK, the personal allowance rate stays the same. So that's fixed. That does lead to tax premium. It's going to mean that incomes are going to be increasing over a few years ahead. But for the moment, it's a good point that it's not extended. The personal allowance is also not changed for inheritance tax. It's not reduced, that's a good thing. But still, if you've got a principal private residence in the UK, a husband and wife couple get £1 billion allowances in the UK. That's all good. And if you've got dividend income, that's still a movable income. If you've got dividends, and that's how you were getting paid before, that's now under attack negatively. So what's coming up is a salary sacrifice to pay directly into your pension, or salary sacrifice to be paid dividends to your personal service company, is now going to be taxed at a higher rate. But not if you're an expat living and working abroad. So if you're working abroad, dividends and interest, even paid from the UK, are taxed overseas, not in the UK. So that's a positive to consider. The big thing about capital gains, the big positive we've got there, is that if you've got residential properties are fixed capital gain in the UK. If you've got an investment in the UK shares, they are not fixed capital gains. If you get a capital gain and you're already expat, you can realise that gain in the UK and defer the tax liability for up to 5 years. Obviously, income tax is the thing. Look at a bit more about what that means. So if you've got a personal pension, if you've got a self-invested pension fund, and you're living and working abroad, now obviously you've got to be age 55, but this is without transferring it. Remember, if you transfer a pension off out of the UK, you get 25% for transferring it to a QROPS. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you as an individual, age of 55 and over, relocating abroad. You can draw down your self-invested personal pension up to 55, over 55, any amount at all, 10 million, 1 million, 2 million, and have it taxed in your local jurisdiction. Now, the tax rate, if you choose Cyprus, is 5%. You pay 5% tax now, and then potentially you can get that savings and that capital out of UK inheritance tax and out of income tax allowance. There's a bit in Cyprus as an international trust fund holder. You have no Cyprus taxes, 0% taxes on capital gains, dividends, interest, or inheritance taxes. No inheritance tax. Anybody living in Cyprus. If there are other jurisdictions around the world, but if you want to consider those, let us know, and we'll work out a non-European location for you as well. In the Middle East, you can get little or no taxes, but obviously you're outside the EU, you've got different considerations, but there's still double taxation treaties. And again, we can help you take dividends, realize a self-invested pension fund from that. If you've got a personal service company in the UK and you sell that company or realize it, you've got a capital gains liability. If you relocate abroad and you manage your business remotely, you've got a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you can management charge from abroad and pay whatever that local tax is. So if you're managing that company abroad from a holding company or a business trust based in Cyprus, you've got 0% tax liability on that business trust management arrangement, and you can acquire capital overseas. If you sell your company shares to an offshore trust and you're not resident, you held them as an individual and you're not tax resident in the UK, you're not going to get a capital gains liability, or you will, but it's deferred for up to 5 years. So you can do that, pay a lower rate of tax. You can do it in Singapore, you can do it in the Middle East, or you can do it in Cyprus, and we can help you do that. If you want to be in digital remote working, there are restrictions for the EU. We're coming up to this point where it's 5 years since Brexit, and although there's a cooling off period for 6 months into 2026, essentially what we're looking at is a situation where we're trying to break your ties with the EU, but the UK is outside the EU. You don't necessarily have that automatic right to work, or you need to get that permit. You can do that through a company, do it through a trust. But if you're if you're working remotely, if you want to be based in Cyprus and work remotely, call it digital, call it what you like. You want to manage your company in the UK from Cyprus, you can enjoy 0 dividends, 0 capital gains, 0 inheritance tax in a European country with a strong English expat community. For more information and guidance on that, contact us. So there's lots of negatives about the budget. If you're staying in the UK, taxes going up. If you're a property rental investor, taxes are going up. But if you can individually move and become a digital remote worker, then there's more opportunities for you. remembering that dividends in the UK, in Cyprus, from the UK, 0% tax. It's a big, big opportunity. Um, you can't change your property rental portfolio. You can't avoid the additional surcharge income tax on your property rental income if you're an expat. Now, there is a strategy with properties that you could do. If you hold your residential property in the UK in a company, then you can manage it and you can avoid the capital gains taxes and you can avoid the increase in the income taxes. To transfer your property into a company in the UK, you're going to get a stamp duty expense, which is a very, very high incentive not to do that. If you're an expat investing in UK property, you need to consider a company strategy. We can help you with that to get it started. It's a bit more expensive, but you then can effectively get fixed flat rate taxes on that. The corporation tax rate in the UK between 19 as opposed to a minimum 22 income tax percent, and then rising up to 45, and retain the capital gains tax liability as well. So again, there's issues we can help you with that, especially if you're an expat and you're making new property rental purchases in the UK. That's it for today, our roaming view. Thanks for joining us in Jersey. Jersey is part of the British Isles. It's effectively UK. It's not part of the UK officially, but it's instinctively connected and part of the internal network. So if you ever think about joining here, some very effective tax savings you can make for Jersey as well. Contact us at ProACT partnership.com. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you next time.